Giants are going to play for pride because they do have this old like Djoko, Steeelback, Nukeduck, VandeR thing going on, you know, where they all play together in one team at some point. So I do think they want to beat him. And Djoko kind of has this personal vendetta against me, and I have it against him too, where he kind of like has this cocky attitude that I cannot stand. And I'm cocky, but I'm cocky for a reason, you know, and he isn't.
I think it's like time for him to retire, you know, after I see those mechanics, and yeah, I think he's no longer part of being a player, and he should really go back to being a caster, that's for sure.
Welcome back to the EU LCS Summer Split. Time for Giants versus Schalke 04. As you saw, there are some choice words from the junglers. Yesterday, after Schalke versus Vitality, Amazing also tweeted that he had a kind of a vendetta against Vitality, so that he was glad to win. Let me ask you, if everyone has a personal vendetta with you, maybe you're the issue?
I mean, Amazing's just been like spitting fire this entire split. Yeah. He's been talking a lot, and now it's actually starting to pay off for him.
He was doing it last split too. Like, he was a caster, he was like, no, I still think I'm a top 5 jungler in the EU LCS. So this guy has always been a confident player. For the first half of the split, he didn't really have the words to back it up, but the second half, he's got a little bit more there.
By the way, I just want to say, I think I'm a top 5 jungler in the EU LCS, so D3, 64% win rate, I'm coming for your spots.
I do love it, though. Both junglers obviously also a bit playing around, but a very important game nonetheless. Giants, we were talking a lot about their miracle run. They would have needed a miracle to get to playoffs. Unfortunately, now it's no longer in their hands, even if they win every single game. And if they lose now, it is completely over for them. But we saw them going 2-0 last week. In the rest of the split, they had also managed to beat G2. They had managed to beat Misfits on occasion. So what went wrong then versus Fnatic yesterday?
Well, first of all, they had to play Fnatic, Caps on as a Kali. It was like the odds are stacked against them, and the schedule they have remaining is going to be very, very tough for them. I think they just need to get back to what's worked for them with Djoko on an early game playmaker.
For me, one of the biggest issues was that Betsy died a lot.
Yeah.
He was like 0-8 or something in that game, and it was just Fnatic doing what they often do, which is funnel everything into not only getting Caps ahead, but shutting that mid lane carry down. And when we talked about the team yesterday, we said, who are the 2 big players need to get ahead? Betsy and Djoko. And if you deny one of those 2 early win conditions, then the team often struggles.
And unfortunately, for stories of teams that are out of playoffs or almost out of playoffs, it's a bit rough. They need to win every single game. They just can't blame themselves at the end of the line. They need to make sure that also for the fans and for everyone, they win the next couple of games. But they're up against Schalke 04. When we talk about a team on form, hell, Schalke is exactly that. They have gone 8-1 in their last 9 games, and we've been following the Schalke story for more than this year, to be honest. The huge disappointment when they couldn't make it to playoffs in spring with this star-studded roster. But now, guys, everything's working out for them. What has been the biggest change in the last couple of weeks? Hell, even the split for Schalke.
Well, for the split, it's amazing. And also the last couple of weeks, I feel like it has been amazing to really stepping up, finding his footing in the EU LCS, because the first few weeks were a little bit rough for the team. But now that they've sort of gotten on that same page, you see Amazing finally making plays in the early game. It's really been the biggest change for me.
For me, what I was so happy to see was that this 7-week plan that they had last split that didn't come into fruition definitely came into fruition this time around. In week 6, week 7, we saw the entire team stepping up, and you can kind of pick any single member and make a highlight reel about the performances of this squad.
Yeah, you just mentioned Amazing already. Of course, when you're going to come into a roster, when you're going to take someone out, then all the eyes will be on the new member. And I think Amazing in the end did bring his experience. I believe we talked to Upset yesterday. He said, well, mechanically he wasn't at the top of the charts at the beginning, but he's catching up, and he has a lot of experience to bring to the roster, and it's finally coming into fruition, which is maybe also why he's gotten a big of an ego.
Yeah, and I think the impressive thing from him is that he's usually not a player that goes out and makes a ton of crazy plays on his own, but he does a great job of containing the enemy jungler and stopping that enemy player from actually shutting down his own players. And you look at some of these stats from the second half, he's looking like one of our stronger junglers in the EU LCS now that he's finally gotten back into form.
I've been really impressed with the growth that Amazing has made. Nice to see him finally brush that rust off of his shoulders. I do know he's still in Diamond 1, but clearly showing more than Diamond 1 mechanics here on the LCS stage. Because I got him. He's an old colleague. He's a good friend. You gotta get him when you can. But he's not the only player for me that's also been able to grow.
Exactly. I think the point is here that all the members on Schalke have done better than they have done in the last split and in the beginning weeks of the summer split. That could be because of Amazing. It will probably also be because of the synergy of the whole team. And Upset is a guy that we've been looking at most recently. All the hype behind him last year didn't really come out. This time it is coming out. He is performing.
I think that after the last few weeks, he hasn't really been a standout carry playmaking individual. He's just been steady. He's been really consistent. And that was a big issue for him last bit. We heard from him on PGL basically say things that I remember Tristana game against G2 where I randomly jumped into the entire lineup and then I ended up giving away my life. And he doesn't make those kind of gambles anymore. He's so reliable. He is a consistently high outputting AD carry. And it's so great to see finally him live up to his potential.
And the whole team is there now. The hype train has left the station. There is no stopping it. The hype is completely there, which is why I'm very excited to watch Schalke in this game, but it also means that they could still stumble. So I want to ask you guys, do you think it is possible for Schalke to end in the top 1 before playoffs?
Before playoffs, it's difficult because it relies on Misfits and Fnatic both losing a couple of games.
Not woulda, coulda, shoulda. Do they have the talent? Should they be able to do it?
They have the talent to be able to finish top 1 in the LCS. With 3 games left, though, that's so difficult.
For me, they're a fantastic team, but I don't think they're quite a cut above Fnatic just yet. 2-3, definitely a comfortable place for this squad, and I'm expecting them to be challenging for that playoff bye over the next 2 weeks.
That is what it is all about for a team on form like Schalke, getting that playoff bye. Well, they're going to have to start by beating Giants right now.
Thank you very much, Sjokz. And if they beat Giants right now, they're one step closer to first, also known as top 1. I'm Quickshot, he's Deficio, and we have a hell of a seed
Why did you not read the prompter? It clearly said superior analyst because I'm now ahead of Vedius.
The entire split, then I will give you that.
Fine.
And also, we both predicted unicorns. Deficio, this game is about Schalke and Giants, not your ego. Talking about Schalke and Giants, Poppy has to be a question.
Ooh.
Ruin, undefeated 2-0. Didn't expect that, did you? And of course, Vizicsacsi, undefeated 4-0.
Another champ for Ruin and Vizicsacsi is the Rumble. Also been very, very good when they've played it.
And I knew you were going to say that. Vizicsacsi 2-0, whereas Ruin 2 wins, 3 losses. The other big champion that I'm going to look at, amazing Sejuani. He's undefeated on that champion, 5 games played already. And let's see where it lands, if anywhere.
Well, Schalke yesterday banned the Trundle against Kikis. Doing the same against Djoko here. One of the goals, I believe, for Schalke is always when they play against these junglers who are kind of known for the strong early games, they try and shut them down in the pick and ban phase on blue side, at least from yesterday and today, as kind of the trend we're seeing on their side. Giants, typically their bans on red side, it's kind of hard to predict. They have liked to ban Rakan, but they're leaving it open in this one. And Sejuani also left open for good old Amazing, and yeah, not a big surprise.
No, not at all.
This is one of the problems about red side, however. Like Akali, Aatrox, a lot of teams, clearly from what we're seeing, either want to pick the Akali or feel like they now have to ban it away. So that
after yesterday.
Yeah, and that goes with the Aatrox, which obviously also is one of the most common bans on red side. So Giants probably feel a little bit forced to go just for general OPs and not target bans.
Okay, so what does that leave us then in priority of what's left? I mean, Gragas locked in here for Giants, can obviously flex that. Djoko's played that 3 times. We've seen it in Ruin's hands as well. And Tahm Kench locked in for NukesAlot.
Yeah, one of the champs teams do ban against the NukesAlot. Tahm Kench generally is just annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Again, you know, Devour is one thing, but the ulti is really the big one for me. Giants have found success late game when they played split push and not just pure team fight. What does Tahm Kench ulti bring? More value to split push, because again, you can move from that mid lane to a side lane. So this does look fine for Giants in terms of first rotation. Look at that, not an Alistar. You want to know why?
Tell me.
He's 5-0 on this Braum.
Exactly.
Everyone tunneled on the Alistar and he just kept picking Braum.
5-0 Sejuani, 5-0 Braum. Schalke are on a 8-1 win-loss record in their last 9 games. Upset's going to be on that Ezreal.
It's so much comfort.
The thing is, for Schalke, they are battling for first. They are trying to get close to that, bye in the quarterfinals. For Giants, they are fighting for their playoff life. If Giants lose this game, Deficio, they are locked out of playoffs, and we have a clear top 6 and bottom 4. And we've got the Gnar locked in, so we can expect that Gragas for Djoko, TK for SirNukesAlot, and obviously Ruin locking in the Gnar.
Yeah, so Giants, also I guess on their side, technically a lot of comfort, but I really with Schalke, it is all the champions they've loved to draft the last couple of weeks have been so successful for them because they want to build a front line that is amazing plus VandeR together because it allows Vizicsacsi to pick a carry if he wants to. So now there's a bit more flexibility in the top lane.
Well, what would be the difference maker between the Rumble or the Poppy? The two picks that we alluded to right at the beginning. Are they even ban-worthy? Do you just let it slide? You know, what direction do you look?
I mean, it depends if he wants to play the Rumble into Gnar matchup on the side of Vizicsacsi. I think he can definitely do it if he wants to. Like, Poppy generally is one of those champs where even if you lose lane a little bit, it doesn't really matter because your playmaking potential as a tank is just so high with the ulti. And I think we gotta say Chachi so far has been the best one on the Poppy here in the EU LCS. I got scared for a moment. Normally when we switch out of the pick and ban phase, we're like, oh no, something happened.
And that's of course because of just how much is on the line for both of these teams. We're gonna see what Betsy decides to run in that mid lane a little later. Lucian locked in for Steeelback. Poppy into the Gnar is that matchup you talked about.
Well, it's also a thing where you play against Lucian, like one of the things about him is obviously short range, but he has mobility. Well, what does Poppy do? She ruins your mobility.
Yep.
On the side of Schalke here. Plus, you have an insane front line. As long as we get a high damage dealer from Nukeduck, then this composition is really well-rounded.
Deficio, with the exception of Upset having one loss on Ezreal, every champion that Schalke have locked in is currently undefeated. I'm taking a look down Nukeduck's picks and bans. This is his first Orianna of the split. This is his 14th unique champion in 16 games.
Fun fact, Betsy also has a huge champion pool and has picked, I believe, 12 different champions so far. Let's see if he has anything special prepared against the Orianna. Kali was banned away from much earlier, and man, we are going a little bit old school. That's actually a matchup I've seen quite a bit recently around the world. Good old Azir is back. If you ask some mid laners, if you ask others, they're like, no, he's hot garbage, never play him. But Betsy, he wants the Azir.
Well, let's see what Betsy can do with it. I want to quickly go back to a point you made just before Nukeduck locked in the Orianna. You said if Nukeduck plays a high damage dealer, that's not what I was expecting. So, what do you make of the Schalke comp? Now you see it all together.
I think it's just a super well-rounded teamfight comp, but it's not the style Schalke have been winning a lot of games with recently because they've actually really favored having Nukeduck on something where he could go side lane. Like the Akali yesterday, we got to see his Zed. We saw before this, a Rise pick that he's played a lot can also do it. This is a lot more around the classic 1-4, as we call it, or you have just a top lane with TP as kind of the main split pusher, and the rest is actually looking to group together on the side of Schalke, so we have to see how they play this teamfight style. Obviously, on the side of Giants, also a lot of teamfight.
Is it fair to say it's similar for Giants, or do you think they can pull off the 1-3-1 a little more easily?
Gnar side lane, they don't really have anyone who wants to go to the other one, so it is a little bit like same. They would probably use Steeelback on the side and leave Betsy in the middle, but obviously Steeelback just pushes and then goes to join the Azir. So this smells like a huge teamfight game, where the only exception could be Ruin on this Gnar if he gets ahead, who can actually be a threat in a side lane.
Ruin Gnar getting ahead. Now, if Ruin does get ahead, Deficio, I distinctly remember casting a few games with you earlier in the split where you actually talked about how you liked when Ruin got ahead, how he could play the game.
I prefer him ahead instead of from behind.
Oh, well, I mean, there's the Captain Obvious statement.
Exactly.
Of course.
But yes, I think Ruin has been one of the improved players on the side of Giants. I think last split he had a very poor split overall, but I think this one, we've actually seen the Rumble pick specifically in team fights, but also when he's played things that can actually split push. When he doesn't fall behind in the early game, he isn't a very aggressive player, and mechanics pretty decent.
And the man that's going to be standing in his way, Vizicsacsi on this Poppy. 400 damage per minute, 24% of his team's damage, undefeated. The chants that you're hearing in the background is a Hungarian fan group that have driven here by bus, 11 or 12 folks. They're super committed. They wrote Vizicsacsi on their bellies, one letter at a time. And they're here in force to support Schalke.
And that requires a lot of people.
It does indeed.
It's a very long name.
It is a long name.
On the side of Vizicsacsi, but Poppy, is it fair to say, I think it is fair to say that he is, first of all, the OG Poppy player in Europe. And he's also the best Poppy player we have. Because back when it was not even reworked, he was still playing it, got into LCS playing it. We've told the story a few times, but we're running out of Poppy stories, so we're just reusing some old ones. And now, with the new one, how many times this split already have we seen Schalke in a tough moment? Smack, Poppy ult, two guys are knocked away from a Baron, an Elder Drake, whatever it is.
At least twice.
At least twice, there we go.
Exactly.
And then Schalke win If you didn't say that, it would sound like 5 or 10 maybe.
I know
it's
that.
fine.
I know that. But I'm trying to back you up, Superior Analyst. Make sure we get on the record there correctly. But of course, in the early game, going to be a little bit difficult in that mini Gnar. We're running a fleet of footwork. I'm taking a look down some of the rest of the summoner spells. Nothing too surprising. Both unsealed for VandeR and for NukesAlot. And
less TPs than some of the other games Schalke have played. We've had 7, 8 TPs in some of them. Right, tried to nerf it. Schalke said, nope, we will keep the TP train going. In this case here, VandeR, of course, with the spellbook can opt into it and use it, but otherwise, traditional on AD carries. I want to see with Steeelback specifically on Lucian. I always feel like when you draft Lucian, you are saying, okay, I want to have very strong, like 20 to 25 minutes, because his laning phase is good. First couple of items are good spikes for him.
Right.
But obviously, full late game, it is harder for Lucian compared to other AD carries. One part is the shorter range. And with the Tahm Kench on his side, while this is not the greatest laner, they're able to pressure early.
And I think, not only is Lucian's range going to be difficult, but playing into Poppy, Sejuani, and Braum is going to be so difficult. Culling blocked by Braum shield, disengage, the steadfast presence from Poppy. Like, a lot of the kit that Lucian has to play with can be countered if Schalke are playing effectively and doing the right thing.
Yeah, we should be seeing the Blade of the Rune King on his side. Maybe even a Black Cleaver, and he's just trying to deal with all the massive tanks. But even then, it's going to take him a while to actually kill someone. So I think it's going to be less about Steeelback in this game, specifically in teamfights, and more about Betsy, Ruin on the Mega Gnar, if he can reach Nukeduck in the back line. Something we're going to be looking for.
And of course, if we take a look at that mid lane, Nukeduck into Betsy, going to be a fun... I mean, I think this feels like it's going to be a bit of a slower laning phase. Both team comps really want to scale up, want to fight.
Tank junglers.
Yeah. So I want to just remind everybody of what's at stake here for Giants. If we take a look at the miracle run, now, of course, losing yesterday means it gets significantly harder. So if Giants lose today, they're locked out of playoffs. Betsy takes a lot of damage in the mid lane. And if Giants win this game, there's still only 1.56% of all remaining scenarios that will result in a tiebreaker game. Giants still need to win that to then make it in. That's why we are calling it a miracle run, if it possibly happens.
Get the standings there, so we just see the two junglers potentially fighting each other. But yeah, Giants, the last one of their teams outside of playoffs who can try to do it. Rocket, by losing the Unicorns of Love, completely eliminated. Amazing is looking for something on top side. He was spotted near the Raptor camp.
Well, just before we get to the action, jump on Twitter. Let us know, will Giants make the miracle run? Tweet at us at LOL Esports.
You gotta be pretty insane to bet on that one.
Let's find out. Ruin, gonna be the recipient of a gank. He's got Flash, Crunch comes down, interrupt by Amazing, and I think Amazing will be happy by getting that summoner spell. Makes Ruin question his choices in the next few minutes.
Oh, good flash at least from Ruin, waiting for the W. Dodges that one, so he doesn't get additionally CC'd. Betsy again taking a lot of damage from Nukeduck.
I mean, that passive, the Clockwork Wind-Up on Orianna, is so frustrating to deal with.
And this is actually great, because one of the mid laners, in an interview, I believe with the shot caller, was actually asked about this here, was Nukeduck. And he said, well, I think the early game is terrible, and I think the late game, while it's good, it's not good enough to make up for the bad early game. And what we're seeing Nukeduck do right here is basically confirm exactly what he said. And Azir's laning phase is not great. Orianna's laning phase, very strong. And Nukeduck is just walking past the minions, start trading, and Betsy can't deal enough damage to him. And Betsy's forced out of lane. Again, he's down 15 CS. Already will catch a few here. But yeah, good old Nukeduck confirming that Azir laning phase, not the greatest.
No, definitely not. There are some tools in the kit that'll help out later when these teamfights eventually do happen, because both of these teams will be clashing in quite dramatic style. But Deficio, set some stakes for me. Which lane do you think we're going to look to play around? I mean, obviously a flashless Gnar is an option, but it's actually difficult, especially as it's about to get 6.
I mean, seeing as, especially on the side of Schalke, they technically have 3 lanes that are fine just farming and scaling. They don't have to force anything in the early game on their side. I'm more looking at Giants trying to do something with Lucian or do something with the Gnar top lane. So I'm actually mainly looking at Djoko, and I think Schalke can just be more reactive in this one and don't need to overforce anything. And Amazing is just farming. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm fine. This is great.
I really like that when you say Schalke don't need to force anything. I think one of the things that has led to this, string of wins and victories on Schalke is we're not seeing as many mistakes. We're seeing cleaner games. Baron is the one area you can debate.
Yeah, we always got to mention the Baron.
Of course you have to. But, all of these champions, we touched on it in picks and bans, their accrued win-loss is 17-1. So there's so much comfort. They know not only how the individual's going to play, but how the teammates will play around. And then you just have to start looking, okay, let's look mid-game, let's look late-game. Who do you think is going to be stronger? Right now, Joko and Amazing run into each other, but nothing's going to happen.
It kind of fits what we just talked about before, though, Trevor. Joko is the one looking for something. Schalke is the one that's playing defensive, putting down vision. Nothing else. Sadly for Giants, they haven't found any success yet. A little bit of damage on bot lane turret. Doesn't really matter too much.
Even game. Let's say it's even game in 15 minutes, right? So at the 20-minute mark, who's stronger in the mid game? From just a ability, which team is better?
I think Giants will have more options to play all 3 lanes because they have a Lucian who can be in the side lane, and they have Tahm, Kench mid, so that's a big window for them to use in that mid game. We're talking 1 to 2 items. Once we go full late game, I think the triple tank wall on the side of Schalke and a double tier Ezreal is probably going to have the advantage, but I'm kind of looking at Giants being proactive once we get to that first item. And I really want to see SirNukesAlot be active on the Tahm Kench with the ultis. I don't care about his Devour. I just need him to actually move him and Steeelback or him and Djoko to suddenly a 3v1 advantage for Giants in the lane.
Okay, well at the moment nobody has an advantage. Nukes, will he be able to help anybody? We'll find out. 5-6 CS separates AD carries, 8 separates mid laners. This is exactly what you would expect when you kind of see the picks and bans and anticipate how the early game plays out.
It's what Schalke wants. Djoko is constantly looking for something, but no one is really overextending in their lanes yet. Also hard to gank a Poppy, seeing as she can just W your body slam. If you go for it, Nukeduck once again, looking for a small trade. Amazing is around the mid lane, but Betsy has cleanse and he's at his turret.
I'm taking a look at level 6. Just happened. Amazing's got the Glacial Prison. Let's see if we can find it. One comes out. Oh, the Shockwave whiffs. That was a little unexpected. Nukeduck and Amazing.
Oh, he
What's that
flashed.
page? Touche. There you go. That's why it whiffs. Good play, Betsy.
Okay, you're technically right.
We both are. I was so focused on blue side, I actually didn't even see Betsy.
You didn't see the flash?
I was looking for Amazing, and I was like, where's the ulti, where's the ulti? I was waiting for the animation to start from that bowler, and it didn't happen, so it threw me off.
Amazing most likely would have thrown the ulti if he didn't see Djoko there, just to at least get the cleanse as well, and then you suddenly have a real gank threat towards the mid lane. Giants, though, once again, I'm kind of hoping that we get Steeelback very soon to go back and get, you know, the Cutlass completed. Yep. Then suddenly they can start. Either you can lane swap and surprise Chachi on top side, or you just continue to go back bot lane and you keep chipping away on the turret. Like you have to always get some small advantage for Giants in this laning phase here, because otherwise Schalke just keeps scaling.
Well, Schalke trying to set something up with Rune. We're approaching 10 minutes and still very close. And the answer is bottom lane. So Steeelback's got himself the Berserker's Greaves and the Cutlass, has not opted to go into the lane swap. And by the way, with the amount of time that Amazing has spent in this top lane, several ganks, you can see the vision. Pretty good, pretty strong for Schalke. 2 pinks, a couple of sort of shallow wards in the red buff side of Giants jungle. And just being highlighted by observers. Thanks, guys. As it stands, Joker's just going to pick up his red. And again, both junglers, they're fishing, but they're not overreaching. They're not overextending and putting themselves in a risky position for those plays.
Just imagine though being on the side of Schalke. You spend all of Spring Split getting flamed all the time for not achieving what you were supposed to achieve with your team. You make a change in the jungle. You get a player who was an analyst for a full split, not even playing.
And many considered washed up after the Mysterious Monkeys.
And then such a fairly rough start for Schalke, where again people were starting to criticize them, saying they were overrated. But then suddenly you have a 10-5 record. Yep. You're fighting for first place all of a sudden. Like, there's a lot of confidence on the side of Schalke, but also more pressure now than before. Because they got to continue to prove, hey, we do belong at the top. Hey, we can actually fight for first place. The moment they drop a game and they play super poorly, people are going to go straight back saying, oh, overrated.
Especially when you look at their upcoming schedule. Giants today, Splice and HTK next week.
3-0.
With an 8-1 record, if Schalke drop a game to any of these 3 teams, it is a gigantic black mark on their expectation setting for playoffs. Also, their 8-1 record, the fact that they have looked so competitive against everybody not named Fnatic in the last 6-7 weeks means that expectations are higher for playoffs. VandeR's going to come in with the help of Amazing. NukesAlot pops that grey help, still getting burned down, and nobody's dead just yet. NukesAlot escapes with his life. Djoko comes in for the help, and nobody goes down. NukesAlot, that was so close.
In the end, no Drake taken either, because Djoko stopped it to go down and help the fight. Rune is down here, they want to get some damage on the turret. Chachi is not going to be able to do a whole lot topside. He's actually TPing in. to join a potential fight.
Let's find out. Nukeduck is
just
in
cancel.
fact moving. He has made his way down bottom, but went back to middle, and Chachi's gonna get a little bit of time on that tower.
Yeah, all he wanted to do was just force Giants off the turret, cancel, then go back, push out top side again, and deny the CS from Ruin. First bit of action, it was around the bottom side, but it was actually started by Schalke with amazing jumping in. Couple of flashes used. SirNukesAlot did not use his flash because he actually swapped it out, I believe, during the fight.
So holding on to that summoner spell. A lot thrown spell-wise in, but not summoners. And of course, Djoko, some additional time, will go back to that Ocean Drake. This is uncontested for now. Good vision on the Giant side, and Vizicsacsi farming between two turrets. Ocean Drake, obviously going to pay off later, but Amazing's going to grab the Herald, also uncontested.
So, question is, what can you get right after this? Can Giants actually get bot lane turret? Then I think them having pressure on bottom side was worth it. Do they lose the Rift Herald and top lane turret? Well, then the trade is Schalke favored, because they get the Rift Herald, which should give another turret as well. Like, Ruin has been denied a couple of minions, or a couple of waves at the moment. By him actually going bot lane, poor guy.
24 CS already, and Vizicsacsi continues to stay ahead. He's got the level advantage, the tower's going to fall, and Shelly, the Rift Herald, now available for the next push. It's 12.5 minutes, a tower apiece. Only the dragon separates them because it's even gold. And again, this is what you said, Deficio. Schalke will be happy with this, but we're getting closer to this 1-item mark, this 2-item mark, where
Steeelback
Giants will have these tools.
So now I want to see what Steeelback can actually do. Skirmish-wise, he's going to be stronger than the Ezreal. If he goes to a side lane, SirNukesAlot sits in the mid lane, it's really difficult for Schalke to punish any of the sides for a while. And they just want to get to the teamfight stage. 2 items, you know, play around Baron, Drakes, all that boring stuff. What can Steeelback do with this?
What should he do?
He needs to be in a side lane. He needs to push it out, and then he needs to either get damage on a turret to start denying jungle camps, or move towards mid lane and get a numbers advantage.
Theoretically, go top them, the outer turrets? Is that easier, or is that...
I mean, you can push bot lane much further in, and then actually get pressure on bot side jungle. There's just no red buff for you to take right now. Schalke just grabbed it on their side, but you can still get pressure towards mid then, which forces Nukeduck to play more passive. Gotta be careful though, because this Rift Herald is coming towards mid.
Yeah, it was amazing that picked up that red buff. I don't know, with a little bit of miscommunication there or similar. Grouped up in mid, Schalke decide not to pull the trigger yet.
But then let's wait and see. Does Schalke send someone down to try and 1v1 NukesAlot? Oh, sorry, 1v1 Steeelback. Then SirNukesAlot should ult down on Tahm Kench and create a 2v1 or 3v1 situation. You get a kill as Giants, you get another turret. That's the way you can snowball the game. Schalke knows this, they'll just play passive on the bottom side. And it does give a bit of map control for Giants, but not enough to just completely snowball the game. They actually need to get a kill.
It'll be a little while before that happens, it feels. Only that top and bottom turret down for now. We've talked a lot about Giants, we've talked a lot about the fact that Steeelback kind of has the agency to make that first move with Play of the Rune King. You've got Nash's Tooth for Betsy, Black Cleaver now for Ruin, and Steeelback's pushing forward. So let's look Schalke's perspective. What and where do you want to see them playing?
Oh, I want to see them farm, Trevor. Farm, farm, farm. Don't die, don't need to fight. Keep farming, baby. It's exciting. Slow and steady. It's not been the style they're playing so much at this split, but for this one here, they're opting into it. Here we get the setup. Bot lane got pushed in. Giants moves into mid. They get the number advantage. Can they actually get a turret? Well, it's still very healthy. They're going to need to do this quite a lot
And
if
they
they actually want to get something.
Deficio, we've just gone past the 15 minutes and 12-second timer. I'll tell you why that's important, because the latest first blood of the Summer Split is 17 minutes and 12 seconds. Watch your clocks. Yesterday, Roccat secured the latest first blood against Splice. Will Giants concede it earlier? We'll give that record to Schalke. You know how much I love those things. All right, take a look at this. Shelly comes down, gets a good boop onto the tower. Explosive cost splits up Schalke for now. There's not a lot of follow-up damage. Shelly gets smited down, and an unimpressive push, but a lot of chip damage, and that's all they're going to take for now.
Had to use it as well soon. Was running out.
Yeah.
Just want to get a bit of damage on the mid lane turret. Obviously, again, as we highlighted before, Schalke don't really have any pressure on the map other than Chachi pushing top side. So it was a little bit difficult for them to fully get a turret down. Back to Giants in the driving seat. Do you say driving seat or driver's seat?
Drivers.
Driver's seat.
Yeah.
Man, English, what a stupid language.
Yeah, it is. Definitely doesn't have the eloquency of Danish. Sounds
It's
like
true.
you're mumbling all day long.
Yes, but if you mumble and no one can understand you, technically they never know what you really meant to say, so you can never actually say anything wrong.
Oh man, what a twisted perspective on language.
There's also parts of Denmark where I don't understand what they actually say, which is kind of bad when you're speaking Danish.
Yeah, I mean, that is problematic.
Hello,
theoretically speaking the same language. By the way, 30 seconds until the latest first blood.
I noticed that not a single person in the crowd said anything when you brought it up, so I don't know if they care.
They do, but they want the kill to happen. And when it happens, they will cheer and clap and applaud me because I...
You or the guy getting the kill?
No, me, because I'm making it. Look, 12 seconds till the record
You're not
goes.
doing anything.
Hungarian fan bus, I think, is giving a small clap in the back, so hopefully it'll be Vizicsacsi.
What if it's Sjokz dying?
That would suck.
Well,
this is legitimately exactly what you expect to see when these team comps happen. This is the right thing that these teams are doing. But 1 minute to Infernal, that could be a way for Giants to force Schalke's hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get the first blood at that Infernal Drake. Schalke feels like, okay, we got a couple of items, we can actually use our team fight comp. Giants are like, hey, we should be winning right now, we need to snowball a little bit, so we need to take the fight. If it's there, as you can see, Djoko and Amazing describing this game. Basically saying, let's not engage.
Hey, Djoko said it pretty clearly. Amazing, go back to being a caster. Those were his exact words.
And I got offended. Being a caster makes you a better player.
In your case, that's true, but that's because you started way worse.
Yes.
Amazing, though, is at risk. This is the latest first blood up and available for grabs. VandeR throws down the Glacial Fissure, running for his knife. NukesAlot gobbles up Amazing. Shockwave is available here, not pulled yet.
There it is.
Goes forward. First blood to Amazing. Takes down NukesAlot. Ruin forced to flash over the wall. He pops the blast cone to safety. Nukeduck is going to be not able to hit the Shockwave with a good flash from Betsy. Second time this game. And it was around Infernal where first blood was secured.
Yeah, it counts, it counts. Infernal spawned during that fight, so it kind of counts here. Betsy trying to defend the mid lane turret. Oh!
What a heroic charge into the wall! Vizicsacsi set that one up and Schalke knocked it down. Amazing, 2-0 already, leading the charge once again for Schalke 04.
We said it here. Schalke, just farm, farm, farm. Once you feel like you can actually take a team fight, go for it. That's what your composition wants to do. They saw an opening when Infernal Drake was about to spawn. They engaged straight away. They don't actually get the Infernal Drake, but they got the kills at least on their side. And at the moment, Giants are not snowballing. The Lucian pick, while he got the bot lane turret, has not been able to get anything else for the team. Can they get a bunch of damage on turret? Yes, but they can't actually kill it. Amazing is here, needs to be a little bit careful. But Schalke is the correct fight for them to take all around the bottom side. And they actually engage just because Djoko is technically starting the fight on his side. But if you look at the minimap, Betsy is not here yet. He's getting zoned by Nukeduck. Nukeduck gets to join much earlier. Azir will just walk into your screen very soon. There he goes. And that's simply not close enough to actually do anything in this fight. Schalke with 5 members take down the first member.
Exactly. And what an amazing record to hold. For Amazing when he comes back in the Summer Split.
Latest first blood?
Latest first blood. Calculated, controlled, exactly to the script that Schalke wanted to put together. It equates to a 1,500 gold lead and a tower advantage. But Infernal and Ocean on the side of Giants, so that late game insurance, they've got that Azir that they can play around. They've got their potential for Ruin, who's not out of this game yet, to take over.
He's going to kill split push.
Exactly.
So he's obviously going to die very quickly in a potential fight.
Yep.
But if he can set up the 1-3-1, which is what Giants have been trying to do, but not really found a lot of success with, potential fight.
Well, not just yet. Amazing and VandeR, the get stunned bros, easily escape that one.
This is a thing people need to notice when they watch Schalke games.
What's that? Steeelback gets tagged, by the way. Devour comes out. NukesAlot's got flash available. He's holding on to it for now. Locked up by the Glacial Prison. There's the explosive cast to buy some time. True Shot Barrage rattles across the Giants roster. Stand behind me. VandeR dashes forward. Betsy's come in. He's got the ability to split up everybody with the Emperor's Divine, and nobody goes down.
Yeah, what I wanted to highlight was Schalke do not take dumb fights very often. They're actually trying to play very slow and calculated in that sense. When they see, okay, this could be an even fight, well, let's step away. Let's wait until we find a guy who's singled out. Let's wait until we get the advantage on the engage. Like we saw here, Amazing did not opt into the first fight. They waited until then on top side. Suddenly with the Braum, they could actually look for a play onto Giants. And by not opting into everything just when it happens and actually waiting for your moment, they tend to get small advantages before the fight starts. And they've done this over multiple weeks now.
And that's why it feels to me that Schalke are on this upswing. That it's like this is the summer of Schalke no fear. They really are stepping up in the consistency, the teamwork, the decision making. And they've got themselves this 1,500 gold lead, 36k to 34.5. I'm looking at the items, 2 item spikes coming in very soon for upset for Nukeduck, Vizicsacsi, and this was kind of the time window where Giants could have been twisting some levers to get control, and they've got to be careful to not let the game run away from them.
Yeah, because the problem for Giants now, when they want to play split push, is Baron is alive. And what happens when you have 3 tanks on one side? Well, you can start Baron at almost any point because you have 3 tanks. So you can always force a team fight. And then the split push gets shot down because they have to suddenly TP in and join the fight. And that is now where Giants might find themselves in a situation where they have to out-teamfight a pure 5-on-5 draft from Schalke's side.
With a split push build Gnar.
With a split push build Gnar, with a low-range Lucian against multiple tanks. And that's not impossible, it's just a lot harder than if Giants were actually the team controlling the game at this point and putting a lot of pressure on the sides. It's not really been happening. Chachi's just gone even against Ruin, which is perfect for Schalke. And Steeelback, after the first bot lane turret died, not been able to find access to anything else.
So kudos to Schalke. Pick some bans, playing out the draft, executing their comp well. So far they're doing
But Baron is alive, Trevor. What happens when Schalke go Baron?
We all panic.
Oh, we panic. And it doesn't matter who they play, or if it's 1 member alive or 5, they will find a way to randomly make it super close.
Yep.
Kickis yesterday almost got the Baron when Schalke was so far ahead.
Dun 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 dun. Steeelback's the target. Here comes Upset, Amazing and VandeR. Djoko and NukesAlot trying to buy some time. NukesAlot goes in, but Steeelback's already getting stunned down. There's a Glacial Fizzler in the back end. A stun onto Djoko. Steeelback survives for now. The 4-man stack of Schalke moves forward. Nukeduck takes down Steeelback. NukesAlot gets taken down by Amazing. The 4th kill of the game for Schalke, no fear.
So NukesAlot's right there. He tried to be the hero, but like, I'm gonna save my AD carry. Problem is there was no way out of the actual fight after he ulted in to try and get
go
to Steeelback.
Go to Chachi! Go to Chachi! He's running for his life because Ruin is running him down. Hungry. Oh, I was about to say we're going to squeal in pain, but Ruin unable to kill him.
Why did we go to Chachi? He didn't die.
I know, but it was being chased down. I really wanted the fans to squeal in fear.
You wanted them to see Chachi die.
I actually did. I'm not going to lie. I did want it to happen, and I want to see their sadness. I'm actually getting boos. It would have made me very happy.
I mean, yeah, you're saying you want to see them sad.
It makes for good TV, Deficio.
Sad fans?
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's any LCS. Hey, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
All right, let's watch the replay, everyone. So, SirNukesAlot, he's like, I'm going to save my AD carry. He didn't even get to his AD carry. Then everyone died on the side of Giants. And look at the minimap. Betsy once again is trying so hard to get to the fight, but he's never allowed to be in the fight. Poor guy.
Unfortunately not. Of course, while we're in the replay, Vizicsacsi for Hungry is looking for Ruin and takes him down. After my expectations, a heroic charge pins Djoko into the wall. An easy stun. Look at that interrupt, the body slam. 1-0-3. Support staff for Schalke backstage, ecstatic with their team's performance.
That fist bump, such energy from them. Schalke, however, they're playing really well in this game.
Such a good game. Deficio, it's a 5,000 gold deficit. And yes, Steeelback will be able to pick up this tower in the top lane. But it is too little, it's too late. Do you remember what I said earlier? If Giants lose, they are locked out of playoffs.
Yes.
Even if they find a comeback, they have a 1.56% chance of all remaining scenarios where they'll make it back in, right? Do you want to know how many options that is? Right now, there are 4,096 possible scenarios.
Okay.
Only 64 of them have Giants in a tiebreaker. And that is even more scary when they are 5k gold down and not even likely to win the game.
Ruin just wants to split push all day long. Sadly for him, Schalke on the other side. They want to shut it down, and they do by killing the Gnar. Steeelback did get the top end turret here, so there's a small little thing for them, but they're just falling so far behind now. And again, it only gets worse. We kept talking about the scaling on Schalke's side. They haven't even pulled the Baron trigger yet. They might be scared, actually. It's kind of the thing.
Rightfully so.
How can you lose the game as Schalke right now? Well, at Baron. That's basically it. So there's a little bit of pressure on them still.
There is. While we were in that replay, Schalke got that Infernal Drake. And they've got some post-traumatic stress disorder memories of Baron plays throughout, actually, I think most of the year, to be fair, and a lot more recently as well.
Right, yeah, because so post-game lobby, Upset was there. Feeling great, you know, he's been winning games, it's awesome. He's talking about great macro from this team, good split pushing, Nukeduck is smart in the side lane.
Yeah.
But whenever he mentioned anything about great macro, he said, except around Baron. Because that's the one thing. Oh, Djoko's mid lane, what can he do? He can walk away.
Nothing yet, was threatening the dive. If you look at the minimap, Upset is making his way from the top lane, and Chachi is being pushed in by Ruin, who's sitting on that Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruin King, so doing his best to defend the waves. And as it stands, Schalke, again, they defend the objective. They withhold any sort of pressure that Giants is putting forward, and Ruin's going to need so much more time to do anything on that tower.
Ruin, fully commit to split push now. Give me that Rage Blade. Just go all in on trying to kill Chachi. It doesn't matter what you can do in a fight. It looks like he is going to go tank from now on, so he wants to actually have some impact in the 5-on-5, because, which is fair, like, kind of the way back for Giants is simply to try and outplay Schalke around that specific Baron. It's not just a joke that we highlight it being an issue for them, because we have seen them drop games around that big objective, and if you are Giants, like, you do have an Azir, you can actually team fight. VandeR.
VandeR gets bopped backwards, flashes over the wall, so Summoner Spell blown. The Giants, they did not fully commit. They didn't chase into the darkness. If you look at the minimap, there was only one ward way deep in the bottom quadrants of Schalke's jungle. Instead, they're going to back away. They realize this Baron is a potential threat. Amazing is so confident. 3-0-1. And for a man that did not start Summer particularly well, he has ramped up and found his footing over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I remember him standing out in the early game more frequently than many other players right now.
It is true. It is definitely true. Schalke is not the kind of team to win lanes on their own. They actually do need to do something around Amazing or teleport, which is what we typically see. Which is also why the early games are a little bit slower.
Yeah.
It is not the full-on action. They draft, you know, these tank junglers. They don't necessarily need to permagank, and it fits Amazing. You can now focus on shot calling. Something that was highlighted from the Schalke guys, how he needed a bit of time to catch up. I can definitely confirm that once you go to the casting route, your in-game knowledge disappears very quickly.
Yeah.
So when he had to come back into playing professional, you got to relearn a lot of things very quickly.
One of the things the entire Schalke team have learned, look at the control wards. I count 3, 4, 5. There was at least 11 or 12 in the total inventory, pushing for this Baron Vision. The dreaded purple worm. The thing is,
don't do it, Schalke.
The game is not over yet. It feels so Schalke favored, but it isn't over until the Nexus goes down. Shockwave is available, level 16 for Nuke, so it's max level. He's just a couple 100 gold away from his death cap as well. And here we go, the Baron's been started. Good vision control, good peeling options.
They see it.
On the side of Schalke. Keeper's verdict is up for Vizicsacsi, and Ruin has not started channeling the teleports.
Let's see what happens here. Nukeduck, good position with the ult. Potentially, they need to deny Djoko from getting in the Baron pit. It's dropping low. 5k.
Clone has popped. The rest of Giants, they're waiting. 4k, 3,500. This is becoming a little too close for comfort. 2,000. It's in burst range. Who's going to pick up the
Djoko!
Smite fight.
He's out.
Verdict goes out. Vizicsacsi does it again for Schalke.
Cleanest Baron for Schalke, all split long, and it might get Betsy.
Oh, Betsy's able to cleanse and flash to safety. Nukeduck runs him down. A solo kill onto Betsy. And Schalke, with the help of Baron, a clean 5-man take. They're pushing at a Giants base.
Oh, the entire coaching staff got nervous backstage for Schalke. Like, oh, guys, this is it. It's going to be close. But they timed the pop ulti with Djoko entering the Baron pit. Knock him back out, secure the big objective. Yes, they lost a bot lane tier 2, but they do not care. So they're gonna get into the base of Giants now.
Oh, Baron empowered minions pushing their way up. Chachi's got teleport if it's even needed. And Schalke, they break open the base. 8 kills to 0 at 30 minutes on the clock. VandeR eats every shot of the culling and just grins and walks away. Inhibitor's taken down, but look at Ruin.
He's on his way.
Gnar is channeled up and he's about to walk over a ward. So Chachi may need to use that TP, multiple pings. This could be a comeback fight for Giants. They need to make this work. Ruin's about to Gnar out. Manages to get the wallop. The Gnar's available.
But he's all
That's a 2-man stun. Make that a 3-man stun. Nukeduck gets a shockwave. Come on, protect. Stays alive. Amazing's now on the front line. Ruin is already dead. Giants are running for their lives, and Schalke are crushing Giants' hopes. Schalke are knocking Giants out of playoffs.
And it's another fight where Giants are completely split here. Betsy was running from base. This guy never gets to join an actual team fight. Ruin tried. He was like, okay, guys, we've already lost the Baron. Let's see if I can flank someone. He found Nukeduck alone for like 2 seconds, and then all of Schalke just collapsed and turned it around. Once again here, Giants tried to get the Baron, was denied by Poppy, tried to get the return fight, was denied by 1, being behind, and 2, once again, the Azir just not being there to actually join the fight. And Schalke 11-0. Feels like they're not taking any risks in these games, other than maybe around the Baron.
And what a beautiful display of control. Every stage of this game has felt like it was going at Schalke's pace. Their decision, their timing, every move they made, every reaction they had has just answered Giants' plays, and that's why they've got this 8,000 gold lead. Pressure on multiple lanes, Upset alone takes down the botter inhib turret, and despite good damage onto Amazing, it doesn't do anything. Djoko, oh no, that Gragas barrel did nothing, and despite a very good Gnar from Ruin, there's no follow-up, there's no support, there's no backup, and it's an unlucky 13, as now Giants continue to run for their lives. Vizicsacsi manages to get the buckler, smack Betsy in the face, inhibitor will fall, and Schalke are just making this look really, really easy.
There's some super minions coming. They might as well finish the game here. 20 seconds on Djoko right now. 5 members from Schalke. Oh, Steeelback, he's dead.
Yeah, Steeelback.
That's my play-by-play, by the way.
Correct. Betsy taken down by Nukeduck on the back, and 15 kills to 0. Schalke, no fear, take down the Nexus and are 1 step closer to that semi-final bye.
Yesterday, they beat Vitality. Impressive game from Schalke. Today, they played Giants. It's one of those games where you can be a little bit scared of Schalke because Giants can do something unexpected. But it was very controlled.
Yep.
They drafted full team fight, great scaling, and said, we don't need to do anything for 15 minutes. We can just wait. First dragon fight, latest first blood, bam, they get a couple of kills.
And once again, led by Amazing.
It was just a very controlled game.
An important game for Schalke. They cannot afford to drop any of them with Splice and H2K next week. Schalke are sitting at the same number of wins now as Fnatic and Misfits. Of course, Fnatic still have a game to play. They can put a little bit ahead.
But it's a lot of pressure on Misfits, like a team that started 9-0.
Yep.
Potentially not getting their top 2 spot. Because right behind them is Schalke, who is actually now tying them in terms of wins. If Misfits lose to G2 Esports, oh, it's getting real close then.
Well, that's going to be the next game, match of the week. For now, we need to celebrate Schalke just a little bit more. Unkilled throughout the entirety of the game. And of course, commiserations to Giants. We've spoken a lot about Schalke the last few minutes, rightfully so, after a performance like that. Giants, the miracle run is dead. They are officially eliminated from playoffs. And that also means Splice are now securing that 6th and final spot in the playoffs.
It is true. I did like the little surge from Giants towards the end. I think a lot of people had written them out if you go back a couple of weeks. But then they started winning some games, you know, that upset win as well on their side. And it kind of felt like Giants were playing better. I just think today and also yesterday against Fnatic, like the tough schedule is what hurts them the most. Because you're not dealing with the middle of the table teams doing this miracle run. You're actually dealing with the guys who's looking very hot at the top in Schalke and of course Fnatic. So this game never really felt like Giants were in control.
Nope.
I feel like the gold graph kind of says it all.
Yep.
Farm for 18 minutes in this case. 1 fight, 2 fights, 3 fights, bam, win.
Unbelievable performance. You can see the damage numbers there by Upset to close it out. Exceptional game by Schalke. We're going to take another look at Vizicacsi's insane ultimate at Baron to make it clean. This one brought to you by Acer Predator.
Let's see. The famous Schalke Baron.
Oh, no, this is not the famous one.
No, okay, that's true.
This is the new Schalke
improved
Baron.
Schalke Baron.
That's
so
better.
Djoko gets in. I actually like that he ults first to try and stop Chachi from potentially charging the ult up. But Chachi waits, and then the moment Djoko enters, he knocks him back out. No chance of a steal from Giants. Everyone stopped DPS for a moment.
Yeah.
Just a great setup. I still think Djoko did the correct thing. Ult and then enter, because you might interrupt something.
I really like the fact, again, you can clearly see the decision-making, but you can also clearly see the communication on the side of Schalke. They stopped bursting at the right time. They went in together. They waited for Chachi's ultimate. And of course, this team fight was ruined trying to make something happen, but...
Almost kills Nukeduck, but again, if you look at the minimap, they're fighting without the Azir. And it happens so often for Giants. I'm not saying they've won this fight with Betsy, or I'm not blaming Betsy either, but it was a problem during the game that they were almost never 5 together. And they already had the weaker teamfight comp. So I feel like Schalke, full control.
Yes.
Just the kind of game you want to see for a top team as well.
And of course, still undefeated for most of the champions. They went in with a record of 17 wins, 1 loss combined. That is now 22-1. We have Vizicsacsi, Nukeduck, and Amazing looking to become player of the game. They need your vote. Head over to @LOL Esports on Twitter and vote for who you would think is player of the game. I'm not going to ask you because I actually just heard.
Why did you look at me then?
Yes, we're going to go to an interview soon. In a few minutes, though, it's time for our match of the week. Misfits versus G2. Are Misfits or G2 the better team today? Find out. For now, we're going to check in with somebody who's not so washed up anymore. It's Laure talking to Amazing.
Sejuani, one trick.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Very controlled game for Schalke once again. Now, putting the loss against Fnatic aside, you won 8 out of 9 games over the last 2 weeks. So what would be Schalke's weaknesses, if you have some?
I mean, honestly, the only thing we still have to fix is like sometimes bringing in the motivation for certain practices or for certain opponents, because even today, like I think we had to put in some extra work to actually get motivated for Giants. If you're on a winning spree, like at some point you almost get used to winning, and but you still have to upkeep like almost the attitude they had beforehand when you didn't win yet, you know? So that's basically one of the things we have to do, but I honestly don't think that in-game we have any weaknesses right now.
And that's something you mentioned last week when we talked on the bench, saying that you were actually really happy for once with your performances. So what are your personal goals to get even better?
I mean, to get even better, you know, honestly, we have to like get to the level of Fnatic, because I still think that they're the best team in the EU. But what's more important for us is actually just like that right now, like at the beginning of the split, maybe people didn't believe in us or we didn't believe in ourselves, so we can make it to playoffs, so we can make it to like potentially top 4 or worse. But I think like we can start to aim a bit higher than just like being one of the teams that plays in the LCS, you know?
Yeah, and you'll have the players to prove that. Now, I see some trolls behind you, so I want to know, G2 is about to play against Misfits in Match of the Week, so they're going to lose. I wanted your predictions. So G2 lose, Misfits win, according to you?
I mean, I don't know, like, honestly, this whole support change of Misfits like kind of irritates me, not because I don't think Jesse Lee is good, you know, I think he's actually a good player, but I think it kind of shows that they have some weaknesses that they haven't figured out yet. Now, so I do think that G2 will end up being the better team and probably starts today.
Well, we'll see about that in a few minutes. Thank you very much for joining me, Amazing. And we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, it's going to be Match of the Week, G2 versus Misfits. Don't go anywhere.
Hola chicos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Yo soy Ibai, uno de los narradores de la LVP, y tengo aquí a un compañero.
Yo soy Barbecue y soy el analista normalmente, el que acompaña al narrador.
Y bueno, Barbe, yo creo que ya es hora de decir por qué debería ir la gente a España. Lo primero porque, bueno, es un split muy importante, el de verano, que da acceso a los mundiales. Pero además, ya sabéis que el público en España siempre lo vive con mucha emoción. Va a ser un evento con el doble de personas que la primera vez que fuimos a Vista Alegre, y creo que podemos vivir algo histórico en un momento muy importante para League of Legends.
La primera vez que lo hicimos ya fue increíble, la verdad, nos lo pasamos súper bien y creo que esta vez vamos a superar lo que pasó la otra vez. Creo que el espectáculo va a ser increíble y sobre todo el hecho de que el primero vaya al mundial es algo que no te puedes perder.
Sí, porque además fue el de primavera en 2015, pero ahora es el de verano. Y hablando de los equipos, bueno, a día de hoy lo estamos grabando y Giants todavía tiene opciones de ir a playoffs, está en una muy buena racha. Ojalá que fuera Giants, pero si tenemos que hablar de los mejores equipos de Europa, Barbe, yo creo que actualmente es Fnatic, ¿no? Con la vuelta de Reckless, con la última racha que ha tenido y con el bajón de Misfits y G2, yo creo que Fnatic es el campeón y apostaría por ellos en Vista Alegre.
Yo creo que va a estar Fnatic seguro, obviamente como estamos viendo hasta ahora, y creo que puede haber alguna sorpresa tipo Vitality o Schalke, pero en general deberían ser los 4 primeros, ¿no? Seguro, Misfits, Fnatic y G2 creo que tienen que estar allí, y luego ya veremos, ¿no? Quién llega a esa fase final.
Así que nada, yo creo, Barbe, que va a ser un espectáculo increíble. Nosotros que estaremos por allí intentaremos hacerlo lo mejor posible y os esperamos a todos en Madrid, tanto en Madrid como en el streaming, porque yo creo que vamos a vivir un evento totalmente inolvidable. Nada más, chicos, os mandamos un abrazo y que vaya bien. Adiós.
Un abrazo.